Hello, welcome to Garden Chronicles. I'm James David and I cultivate tropical plants in my garden. Today I would like to share some general planting care and maintenance on this particular plant known as Siam Tulip. Also with some comparison with other similar gingers and turmeric characteristics. So sit back and enjoy the show. Just some general information. This particular plant is not a true tulip family, rather more related to a ginger family, specifically a turmeric species, identified as Curcuma alismatifolia. Actually, I have purchased this particular plant 5 years ago during a Chinese New Year festive season when this particular plant was in display. And truly, I must say, I have faced a lot of challenges cultivating it in this particular garden. So, I would like to share my experience on what I have actually faced during this 5 years period. One of the most trickiest thing about this particular plant is its native origin. Siam Tulip is actually a native plant grown around the northern region of Thailand. Hence, it does have some characteristic similar like a temperate region plant. This also explains why they go dormant after it finish a season. Often, many novice gardeners think that this plant had finished its cycle and only to find that the living active rhizome resting in a potted plant. So often I notice that when the plant is appear to be look like dead, they'll just kept aside and they will actually uproot the whole thing and thinking on the repot to a new plant, and they might find these living rhizomes are actually being resting inside that potting media. This actually happened to me when I thought that the plant is dead and I want to replant it, and when I actually unpot the pot and when I found all this rhizome there, I first thought that it was actually belonging to Cattleya species. Especially when I look at the rhizomes, it appears to be like hanging balls all over with a kind of a string attached to it. So I actually assumed that it should belong to Cattleya. However, when I planted it, new shoots appears from there. However, give and take, you can see it will take roughly about 3 to 4 months for the new shoots to sprout out rigorously. However, it may take a while for it to produce the inflorescence, and once also when it finishes blooming cycle, the plant will slowly fade back to in dormancy. So one of the main factors here that you have to watch out for here is that not to overwater it, because the whole rhizome can turn black and die away. Now let's talk a little bit more detail about the blooms. The top crown here is actually pink. It's known as bracts. The actual true flowers is actually the smaller compact flowers that appears in violet. Another unique feature about this particular plant is that it contains a water reservoir in between the bracts, in the lips of these bracts, and I noticed that it has very similar characteristic like a shampoo ginger. Coming to another close relative plant, famously known as black turmeric, I must say both plants have very similar characteristics both on the leaves and on the flower structure, so it can be slightly confusing. However, when it comes to black turmeric, when you actually uproot it, you can actually see the whole rhizome. I will come to that more in detail. So you can actually see here these characteristics. The one that I'm actually holding, the violet, that is the true flower. Now talking a little bit about black turmeric known as Curcuma cassia, this black turmeric is actually native around the northeast region of India and Madhya Pradesh. The unique characteristic is that when you cut the rhizome into half, you will notice the blue colors inside the rhizome. The confusion actually occurs when When these are not in flower, both leaves will have exactly almost the same appearance, where there will be a dark lining on the midrib. Coming back to the inflorescence, if you notice here, the back of the black turmeric is actually in red, and the true flowers of the black turmeric is in yellow, whereas the Siam Tulip is actually in violet. So this is the main difference. However, apart from the other feature is that both of this particular plant is classified as curcuma. Sadly, this Indian species is currently in the verge of extinction. However, there is some hope on this particular one, as this is now cultivated around Malaysia for the medical purposes, where these are marketed as health supplement products. This is what I mentioned. In view of these leaves, both Curcuma cassia and Curcuma alismatifolia look very similar in their appearance. I must say that the leaves will appear to be very floppy and may easily get bruised and damaged. Hence, it's good to put some sticks and tie them up in an upright position for stronger stability. As you can see here, these are some of the damages occurs. I'm not very sure what actually has happened. It could be that the plant has been bruised, or pests would have attacked on them. As you can see, some of the leaves are bitten and damaged, and this is one of the factors when it comes to Siam Tulip. However, I find that the inflorescence seems to be a little bit more hardy and robust. Another factor that I would like to mention here is that in the beginning I grew these indoors for the first year. However, it looked very leggy and never bloomed. Once after repotting and placing them in open sun and rain, it started to thrive and bloom. So this is one of the factors that you have to identify, that some people and some gardeners may mention that they can grow indoors or in shaded ground. In my case, actually they require good sun. So in a way, I noticed that they may need to face some natural element of sun and rain to become a little bit more hardy and robust. Yes, indeed, that I have managed to grow them indoors. The leaves tend to become very lanky and floppy, but it never bloomed in that condition. I can say, apart from daily watering and weekly foliar fertilizing this this particular plant seems to doing just fine without any much of a hassle or problem. Hence, I just want to make an emphasis here that if you have purchased this plant and the plant appears to be dying, do not worry about it. What you can do is you can actually snip off and cut and throw away all the drying pieces, and if you want to, you can actually take out and repot the thing and just check and see whether the rhizome is still active and dormant or is rotting away, because the chances of rotting can also be a cause of the plant to be dead. Once you find that the rhizomes is fresh and appearing like almost like a ginger kind of appearance, plant it back, but do not overwater it. Just keep it resting at least about 2 to 3 months. You may lightly water it, and after that, if you see any new growth, then slowly reintroduce it to open sun. And I believe that the plant will able to acclimatize to the tropical region. Here you actually can see the true turmeric plant. Actually, I went to the wet market today and I chanced upon this particular rhizome, and I just managed to take some videos about it. Here you can actually see a clearer view of what is being sold. This is how a turmeric looks like. If you notice, the central part of it is purely in yellow. When it comes to black turmeric, it will be in blue. So this is the exact shape and formation of a turmeric plant. Just want to showcase to you this particular plant. Turmeric is one of the most essential herb used for many local cuisines, and also especially for Indian cooking and also for various daily uses. I can also say that you can actually use this particular rhizome for propagation, as they can grow many sprouts from this. This is another herb. It's actually known as galangal, also used for cooking. Beside me, this is actually ginger, and you can see the difference between the size and the pulp and how it appears to be the difference between turmeric and ginger. Of course, the video here is to do with Siam Tulip, but I just want to make a quick video in a visual display of how curcuma look like when it appears to be in a fullest form. However, do understand that Siam Tulip does not appear in this form. So do take note that the edible curcuma, the turmeric, is in this particular size and formation. Siam Tulip does come in many colors. This particular one is actually pink. I have come across the white version and the red version. Anyway, I have come to the conclusion of my video. Hope you like what I've shared here. And if you have any questions and thoughts about this, please put them in a comment below, and I would really love to hear your thoughts about it. I would really appreciate it if you can click like and subscribe and support my channel. Thank you and have a nice day, and see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.